progress go here. As you can tell by my awesome new overlay I just figured out how to put on today. This is a game from today, earlier. I was fairly happy with how I played. I did lose. I think I made a fairly big mistake in my attacking early-ish on, and that caused me to just not be able to build enough points in my attack, which I'll point out when I get to it. I haven't really looked over this too thoroughly, just a little bit, just really quickly, so I have some idea of what I'm going to be talking about. I play white in this game, and I've been studying some Joseki lately, and trying to work on some different 3-4 high approaches that don't just all look like this. Or this. So I've been studying some pincers. Unfortunately, my opponent didn't decide to play those moves today, so there was really there's no way I could actually show that or practice that. But I practice a couple of those Joseki to get better and have a better library of what I'm doing in the opening game. But here's the game. I said that I played white. I played black. I lost by resignation. I decided to pick the 3-4 mostly just to give myself as much chance of utilizing the new Joseki as possible, just to try it. I had no real goal of winning. I just wanted to try some new things and practice. And I approach high, give him a shot, and he chooses the common one, which is understandable. I don't actually know the response to this one. I'm sure it's better than what I did. Maybe it isn't. Maybe that's just bad and it leaves weaknesses. I feel like he should come back over here somewhere. And but he approaches low up here. I try to pincer anyways. I think I just got carried away. I was like, oh, he's approaching my 3-4 stone. Time to pincer, and I just didn't really pay attention to what I was pincering. But I think I did all right with this, even though I have no idea any of the Joseki involving this. This reminded me of a normal one, where say if I was down here, and it reminded me of this a little bit, even though it wasn't quite. So So I wanted to poke here, see what I could do, and then I start pushing. I sort of expected this. I felt like I could get the shape regardless. That's why I cut. I had to cut at this point anyways, but I have expected him not to, or I have expected him to do something like this and make it just a pain in the ass. But I knew that the reason I felt it was okay for this is I knew this ladder went to this stone, so I thought that this would be okay and I would be fine regardless, and these two stones would be dead, which he probably saw as well, and that's why he exchanged that way. Little logic as possible. I just wanted to kill it and get out. I felt like I got the better end of this deal. He has a small running group over here, which I think he should have done that right away. Maybe not, but I feel like this would have been better than. I suppose a forcing move is a forcing move, so that actually maybe what he did was better. But he's got a running group here, and this group doesn't have eyes, even though it's fine. So that's how that went. Needs to make eyes with this group. I felt confident in that. And I connected here. This wasn't important. Clearly, he needs to keep the group together. And I went back to this because I remember because I knew there was a weakness over here somewhere, because this is not a normal move. So he approaches. I decide that ignoring this is not what he should have done. I actually don't really know the follow-up. This is the best move I could find. I could be wrong. I was more hinting at something. I was like, you really need to come back here. And then I was going to return to this group. I decided that, he came here. I took a few Sente moves and then backed off. I figured that'd be okay. Take some Sente there. I can't let him cut here, so I made shape this way. I felt that was a good way to keep myself out and strong and on the top. And he needs to make eyes. And I want to make sure that the two groups don't connect. That was all I really cared about there. And I considered approaching from this side, but I figured that this would be way too much territory. No matter what I did, this is too much to give. Maybe I could have done something like this. And been okay, and that would have been okay. Maybe that would have been better even. Especially since this wall isn't really going anywhere, because I've got support right there. Maybe that would have been better than what I did. I approached from this side. This move seemed slow. Maybe he was just trying to keep me behind, as far behind enemy lines as possible. It felt like it was slow, so I ignored it and double approached. I couldn't really think of a better way to do this. Maybe if I'd done something like this, it would have been better. Kept the stones a little bit more in unison rather than just sort of displaying. I felt like this offered this stone a little bit more support. He did that, which I was more than happy to exchange. Right up to there, I felt like the game at that point was good for me. Probably, maybe I could have done this first. Who knows? There wasn't really a reason. Maybe I should have actually just done this and avoided that situation right there altogether. But I decided this is more important. I need to keep this out and in the center. And I should have been paying attention and noticed where I was building up, because the fight starts over here where I run him into my territory, and that's just not good. Anyways, he needs to come out. Obviously, he has no real eye space, though he can still connect. If he really needs to, he can probably force a connection or come out, so he's fine. So he jumps. I poke, I keep him heavy, and then I jump out, make sure this group, because this doesn't have two eyes. It's got one for sure, but it doesn't have two yet, and there isn't really a way to get one if he decides he wants to cap me. He approaches over there. I mean, I suppose this group isn't, perfect, but it's fine. Maybe it's a double purpose. I didn't like this move too much. It let me do this, and I felt really, really comfortable with this move. And just making my group stronger. This one I spent a good amount of time reading, actually. I wasn't really sure if I should do like what I did, or if I should do something like this. I feel like that might be too much, But I did end up just connecting underneath, trying to keep him as weak as I could, and still keep them disconnected, these two groups disconnected from this group. Just as much as I could, I tried to keep the different white groups disconnected. Plays there. I felt like that was the shape move. I'm pretty sure it was, as far as I'm aware. This group's weak. If he responded something like that, it would have been far too good for me. So, I wanted to poke. Oh. I wanted to poke here. I expected him to just settle. That probably would have been bad on his part, because then I could have done this and just run these two groups into each other. So that move surprised me a bit, but it was right. Maybe if I'd done this, I haven't really looked at this move. Oh. Maybe something like this. He wouldn't want to do this too much, because though he has some strength, this group dies. Maybe I could have done that. Maybe I should have. I push out just to keep this group from running to this one, and sort of lean on that group. This one I thought about a lot as well. I wasn't sure if I should... I was deciding whether or not I should just run like this, or if I should take the Sente for this move first and then come out, which that's what I ended up doing in the real game. But I wasn't really sure which would be better, so I spent a while looking at that and decided that taking the Sente there was okay. Shout. And then this group's fine. And I thought about doing this, but I felt like he would just run along that way. Maybe that would have been okay as well. All hindsight, right? But I cap, mostly to try and keep this group separate from this group, because it's not hitting that group anymore. And I suppose I should have done something a little bit more active to prevent that. Maybe even just Tengen. Runs into my group. That right there. Maybe this was the move that was bad, because it's pushing him into this group, and that right there is bad. But I also felt that this move could have been better. Yeah. Even just, I don't know. As you can see, most of what I was trying to do was trying to keep the groups separate. I think doing something like this may have been better. Yeah, something like that, perhaps. There's not really much you can do to stop this stone, so I can run these two together. And just lean on him. And that would have been a lot better. That right there is where, I believe, where I lost. I felt like the game was good for me until that point. I am currently reading Attack and Defense. I'm not finished with it yet. I actually just started, so maybe that'll help me a little bit on my attacking, because I do like to be fairly aggressive in my play. But yeah, I think that was the move. And what ended up happening was I ended up running him straight into all the territory. Just everything that I could have made is nothing now, and this is really all that there was for me on the board. I had a little bit over here, a little bit over here, maybe a point or two over here. There's just nothing else. I'm making 3 or 4 points here and there, and I've got this big group that I guess I just wasn't paying attention. Like, this is what I'm surrounding. This is where my territory is coming from. And I feel like if I was able to, if I was paying attention to this while I was attacking, I would have been much better at the end game score, instead of just trying to run the groups around, which I love doing, but it's not going to win in and of itself. But I'll just run through the rest of the game quickly. Just all I did really was try to keep disconnected, so that was probably my fault. This code didn't really need to happen. As I said before, that would have been fine. Would have threatened it anyways. He probably would have responded, depending on when the move was made as well. I lose that. No big deal. Well, I'd already lost by this point, but I live. Yeah, I thought that I'd be able to kill this. I thought I'd be able to pull a lot of territory over here, but I ended up being wrong. This group just wasn't quite strong enough to do what I needed it to do. And that's what happened right there. At this point, there wasn't really anything I could do to kill the group, unfortunately. And it got to a point where I needed to kill it in order to have the territory to compete. And I resign here. I actually didn't see this end game. Very, very cool end game. As soon as he played that move, I had a lot of trouble with that. But I saw the move. I stopped. Took a full Byo-Yomi just to count the territory, and I realized I was off by 15 to 25 points. I was off by about 21 points when I counted, and I just didn't have anywhere to pull the points from, so I resigned at this point. But I enjoyed playing the game. I had a lot of fun running these groups around. If nothing else, that was enjoyable. And I hope you enjoyed watching it, and have a good one.